Friday night, 6:30. Let's go. College football is here. I am your host, Big Papa East, Ryan. Welcome to the show. A little extra for that ass. That's what we're doing here tonight. Vince, I don't know where he is. Somewhere in Tallahassee or on the road to Tallahassee. Somewhere out there he's enjoying himself. But I'm enjoying myself spending the night here with you fine folks. So thank you for joining. And let's have some fun because tonight I'm going to go through the top 25 games this weekend. Give you my thoughts. First of all, I want to talk about the USF game last night. But before I do that, I want to thank Captain Black's Fishing Studios. Please reach out to Captain Black for all your fishing needs in the Panhandle area. Got that out of the way. Who's ready for tomorrow's game, man? It's finally, the talking is over. I'm so tired. Guys, of the talk. And I know you know what I mean. We have had 6 months at least of like wondering about this game after the roster was pretty much formed. What does this game look like? What are the keys? Who are the players? Do we have a chance? I'm done. Like, we've heard enough. It's here. I don't want to talk about it anymore. I don't want to hear about fan bases arguing with each other or different shows arguing with each other. It's here. Tomorrow, the questions will be answered. At least part of them. So I'm excited, ready to hit the reset button from what last year was, which was a terrible, terrible year. But let's get it started because tonight we're going to do some fun stuff. I have, Vince will be proud, a graphic. If only Vince was here to applaud my effort and the clear, obvious effort I put into this, except for one thing. Illinois is not number 1. They're number 12. So forgive me on that one. But we're going to go through each and every one of these games and to give you my thoughts on how we're doing. But we're going to get to that here in just a second. For those of you who are here, please hop in the comment section. What games are you looking forward to this week? What is your score prediction for Florida State? Tell me a little bit about what you are thinking on this glorious Friday night. Now, everyone knows I like a good drink. But part of maintaining through the game time tomorrow and be able to enjoy the game is not overdoing it on the Friday night. So, out of character tonight, yours truly is enjoying a seltzer, which is, for anyone that knows me, completely out of character. But you can drink a bunch of these and not feel a thing. So that's what I'm doing. I consider this hydrating before the long day that we have ahead of us tomorrow. So hopefully you guys are maintaining along with me because we all know Friday night before a big game like Alabama can get a little frisky. Get a little frisky out there. But let's get started. I want to talk about USF last night. I was texting Vince during that game, and I said, this is pretty much like this. The USF game was a blueprint on how Florida State and the manner in which Florida State beats Alabama. Now, I don't think it would ever be as lopsided as that game was, but the blueprint is similar. And what the blueprint is guys come in to play. I mean, with heart, hard hitting, aggressiveness, trick plays, running the quarterback not shying away from real pressure and real contact. Now, I don't want to see Tommy taking the same hits that last night that USF did, but he's not as big. But that's fine. But the general playbook, the general blueprint on how the hell Florida State can possibly beat Alabama, I believe that USF game is a pretty good indicator. Hard hitting, defense making plays, running the quarterback, and a sprinkling of trick plays. That fake punt, something to behold. You know, it's a bold play by itself, but then the throw wasn't great. I mean, for him being a quarterback on the team, them putting a quarterback in as a punter without anyone realizing, it wasn't a pretty throw. There was a lot of hang time on that throw, but what a great time to call it. Kudos and well done, USF. And I'm telling you guys, in the next couple weeks when I'm predicting, the top 25 games each week, be careful, Florida and Miami with USF. Don't go fooling around. USF, I think USF wins one of those two games. I don't know which one I'm going to predict that they win, but I do think one of the games that USF will win, either Miami or against Florida. And whatever that may be, I'll be happy with it. I'm leaning Miami because what more Miami loss would it be than losing to USF early in the season? I mean, that would be like stereotypical, man, kick to the nuts for Miami. And then they got to play us, so it's like, yeah, let's soften them up. Let's start the tanking of the season a little early. I see my boy VC Knoll, Vince Ciccarelli, in the chat on I-10. A long, lonely I-10 drive. Making his way over from Jacksonville. It's about 2.5 hours, 2 hour 45 from Vince's house, I believe, to Tallahassee, listening in. And then, hey, welcome aboard. Let's go. Let's see you tomorrow, fellas. Well, you will see Vince. I will not be there, as I announced last night in last night's show. But Vince will be there, having a great time in Lot 12. Go see him. You'll see the Garnet and Old banner hanging up. All right, let's get to the main event here. Let's pull up that schedule. Tonight, Western Illinois at number 12, not number 1, Illinois, on Peacock. By the way, I'm going to get into this in a second. Let me predict this game. Illinois is going to kick ass in this game. Western Illinois isn't any good at all. That has a 20 to 30 point win all over it, in my opinion. So that's my first prediction on that one. Not a hard one to predict, but I have a pet peeve, guys, and it's starting to show its ugly head already. Look at those networks. Peacock, right? So NBC. Fox. So Fox 1. ABC. So you need the ESPN Unlimited. Fox, ABC, Big Ten Network. You're seeing where I'm going here. I don't mind the idea of having, hey, I'm subscribed to Fox 1, I'm subscribed to the ESPN Unlimited. I got all the services. That's not the issue. What the issue is bringing them all into one place where I can cohesively switch between the damn games. Okay? It used to be, in the glory days of traditional cable, which you could still do. I could still pony up the $84.99 a month to get YouTube TV. But this is still cheaper, piecemealing it together, especially if you're only a sports fan and not watching any other TV, which pretty much describes me. But the problem is, you have, let's say, this Illinois game on. Well, maybe you want to watch Baylor play tonight, and that's on a different app. You can't just switch channels. You have to change apps, which then when you go back to the previous app, let's say you're switching back and forth between games, it reloads that app, meaning you have to select the game again. So there's no quick and dirty way across all these networks and all their individual apps and subscriptions to just, maybe split screen it or switch quickly back and forth. Now, if all the games that you were watching are all on ESPN, no problem. Same thing with Peacock, same thing with, Fox 1. But it's whenever there's multiple games on at the same time on multiple networks, on multiple apps. Really annoying. And it's already become a problem. Last night, I was literally like, oh, this sucks. This sucks. So, for what should have been simpler, with breaking it up and having all these subscriptions, now it's just more complicated than cable ever was. The last thing I'll say on that is I would pay $500 a year. I'm not even joking. $500 annually for a college football ticket. Similar to NFL Sunday Ticket. Now, it's impossible because all these different networks and agreements. Now, maybe in the future it becomes easier when rights run out and all that stuff, but I would pay $500 a year for a college football Saturday ticket in which there's one app, all the games, all the scores, and you can literally just, from a grid of all the scores happening, switch dynamically through the games. That's my dream. I don't think it's going to happen, though. So, all right, let's go on to the big noon, right? Texas, Ohio State. Man, that's what a good game to start the year. I got Ohio State in that one. I actually like Ohio State by like 7 to 10 points. I'm just not sold on Texas. Suspicious eyes on them. My suspicious eyes on them. I think Ohio State wins that game. I don't know if I'm going to give you a specific score, but I think a touchdown. I think Ohio State wins that game. Syracuse, Tennessee. Suspiciously good game. I'm gonna predict Cuse with the upset win here against Tennessee because Tennessee has not done it. I mean, every year, even when people thought predicting they were going to be really good in the last 5-6 years, hasn't panned out. This seems like a classic, like should not have lost it but did kind of game. So I'm going to predict Syracuse beating Tennessee. I would not bet on that game though. I'm just saying personally, I think Syracuse wins that game. Indiana kills Old Dominion. Iowa State, solid win over South Dakota. Penn State, Nevada, interesting. I'd see, and this is where Nevada sucks. Penn State will win that game, but I don't think it's one of those games, and we see it all the time. I saw it last night, where you look at the box score and you're like, okay, yeah, completely outmatched opponent, should have won by more than like 29-3 or something like that. I just have a feeling Penn State maybe 31, Nevada 7, and you're like, yeah, it was a win, but it wasn't 55-3 like it probably should have been. I just don't see Penn State blowing them out. Not that they shouldn't, but that they won't. On the other hand, Georgia blows out Marshall. That's got 55-7 written all over it. We already predicted the game last night. You can go back and watch the Garnet and Old show. Live Thursdays, 7 o'clock, Garnet and Old, every single week. Go back and watch our predictions about the game. I picked Florida State to win a very close game against Alabama, thus setting us up for a 3-0 start. Oregon, Montana State, no problem. Oregon rolls in that game. Same with Oklahoma. I think Oklahoma is actually going to be surprisingly good. They have a lot of talent, man. You look at Oklahoma's roster; they should have a much better record than they currently do, like a lot better record. Oklahoma's been so weird over the last couple of years, and I know they, you had the Lincoln Riley era, and it had its peak, but I've just been looking at them recently, and you're just like, man, are they getting everything out of that roster? That clearly not. Texas A&M, that'll be a win. I really don't like seltzers. Gotta hydrate, though, as Willie Taggart famously said. Kansas, what the hell happened? Look, I want you. This is the problem with AI. Guys, read that. I know what it is, but I'm going to call them by what AI called it. Kansas State. That sounds better anyways. That's more entertaining. Let's go Kansas State. Maybe that's how it's pronounced in Kansas. Yeah, they win that game after an interesting game last week. Florida wins, no problem. Michigan. What is AI doing here? Look, number 1, Michigan. I love AI. Here, I want to tell you guys my process on how we got these numbers here. So, I took a spreadsheet of games with the clear spelling and dates and times and networks, and I fed it into my local AI chatbot, and I said, hey, make a nice Florida State colored image out of this. It has all the data, okay? And still we get Kansas State, and we get number 1 Michigan. What are we doing? It's number 14 Michigan. For anyone who thinks AI is about to take over the world, like, how about they get the numbers right next to Michigan on an image generation before we worry about all that. Clemson LSU is my toughest pick. I have no idea what to think about that one. The quarterbacks are the known factor, both of them. I like both quarterbacks. I think they're both good quarterbacks. I think they're both above average, like to really good quarterbacks. It's in Clemson. But I actually think, it goes contrary to what I said a month ago, which is Brian Kelly really has a hard time on first games of the year. I think they're due. It's one of those things, like you roll the dice enough times, predicting a number, and maybe eventually it'll hit, because, man, we've gotten 5 rolls in a row, 5, 6, 7 rolls in a row. It's got to go a different roll now. I'm actually going to say LSU wins that game. Not confident at all in that pick. Probably should go with Clemson, but I don't know. I just feel like LSU does win that game. Texas Tech. I'm going to take a wild guess here and assume that Texas Tech can handle Arkansas Pine Bluff. I hope. Ole Miss over Georgia State, Arizona State over East Texas A&M, and then suspiciously good game. I'm picking Virginia Tech all day over South Carolina. Va Tech will be a underrated team headed into the year, and I actually think they'll have a pretty good year. I like the team. I like the roster. I like a lot of things. I don't like Shane Beamer at all. No way, in my mind, is South Carolina number 13, man. Oh, it pisses me off because I look at Florida State, and right now, Florida State play at South Carolina. I pick Florida State all day. But I'm a homer, so it is what it is. What about Miami and Notre Dame? Completely left off the list by old AI here. But Miami, number 6 Notre Dame plays at Miami. Miami will win this game. And then Miami will lose to USF. Because that's what Miami does. Miami will beat Notre Dame, and all the Canes fans will be flashing the U on the socials, and they'll be saying that U is finally back. And Carson Beck throws for 300 yards and 4 touchdowns and a triumphant win against Notre Dame, and then they'll go take a dump against USF and get embarrassed. And they'll be back in the muck, which I hope then they lose to us as well. Man, I'm excited about this weekend. It feels weird. The night before, I'm not going to lie, last night I started to feel the jitters about the game. Tonight, it feels weird. Like, it doesn't feel like there's a game tomorrow. Like, I know my head is telling me, yeah, 3:30 tomorrow, game, yep. But it's like, nah, it doesn't feel that way right now. Maybe after I watch Baylor play, maybe that's what it, or Illinois, the Fighting Illini play tonight. Maybe I'll feel differently. Champagne. But guys, I do hope that Florida State keeps it close. That's what I want. I want them to win. I picked them to win. But I really just want a good game. Please, just don't have it be halftime when we're down by 28 points. Because then I'll have to see Twitter just being nothing but negative, and I don't want to go down that road this early. Please, Florida State, put up a competitive, hard-fought game. If you don't do it for me, do it for Captain Black and the Captain Black Fishing Studios. Thank you, Captain Black, for sponsoring the Garnet and Old show. We very much appreciate you and everything you do. Vince, you're on I-10. Hopefully you are locked and loaded for tomorrow's game. For those of you who aren't aware, Vince and I will do a pre-game show together. We will announce that on our socials what time, sometime tomorrow. But we will do a pre-game, and then I immediately following, or maybe even the last few minutes of the Alabama-Florida State game, if it's close, you'll get it after the game. If it's not looking great on either side, whether we're winning by big or Bama's beating us by big, maybe I'll come on here, 5 minutes left in the game. But I will start the post-game show, allowing Vince to go over and see the Chiefs and check in with his daughter and all that stuff and get his equipment. But then I'm sure Vince will log in and be part of the post-game show, but it'll be a lively comment section either way. If we beat Alabama, I hope all of you are joining me in a post-game show with a drink in your hand and comments ready to go. And if we lose, I hope you have a drink in hand and comments ready to go. Either way, we'll have a good time. Well, everyone, be safe. Don't overdo it tonight. Don't overdo it before the game tomorrow. Maintain and then party afterwards. Either way, we're either going to be celebrating with drinks or we'll be depressed with drinks. Either way, it all works out. But have a good weekend, everyone. Go Noles. Garnet and Old, no inside info. Never any contacts except for the last 3 weeks. No problem. Have a good weekend, everybody. Take care.